At 3 every business day, I bring you the unusual activity that our heat seeker algorithm has found, and today is no different, even though it's the second to last trading day of 2020. Let's get to it. So with that said, the disclaimer is that this is for educational and informational purposes only, and that all investments involve risk. Intellectual property rights, yes, we retain all rights, title, and interest. If you'd like to use any of what you're about to see, please ask us first. 99.9 times out of 100, we're going to say yes, and we'll just ask that you cite Market Rebellion as the source. All right, Alibaba yesterday. So with the stock under 235, we saw unusual call activity in Alibaba. Talked about it on the halftime report. Guess where those calls went today? They've already hit $8.45 because that's where they opened this morning. That was the high of the day. Did I sell there? No. But I did sell over $6.75, which I was very happy about. As you see here, about an hour ago Eastern Time, they were back down to $4.65, still up 20% over last night's close of $3.90. And the price that we got in for was much lower than that. So keep an eye on Alibaba, but realize, of course, that tomorrow is going to feel like half a day, even though, of course, we have to stick around for most of the day tomorrow. All right. My brother Pete was in the weight room for the football team over at Nebraska. Why is that? Because Pete's good friend with a lot of the folks at the University of Nebraska, including Tom Osborne, who is the former national championship coach for the Huskers. And when Pete was going through Lincoln on his tour of the country, the coach said, "Hey, Pete, why don't you shoot either at the stadium or in the locker room and or the weight room?" And they set him all up, and that's where Pete came to you for the halftime report today. It's pretty cool. First stock he talked about, one of three. The first one, Freeport-McMoRan. Stock was $26.57. As Pete said, we had multiple hits in this stock as it moved up by, as you see from that TV feed, $1.83 or 7.4%. When we saw it early this morning, it wasn't $26.57, it was $26.04. As you see in the first 19 minutes of trading today, because these are Eastern times, 2,400 of the expiring tomorrow DC26 calls, the at the monies, bought. And then later, 19,000, which is 1.9 million share equivalent of the February 29 calls. So somebody's looking for a lot more upside by February, willing to pay $100 to $127 a piece for these options. And keep in mind that as they were buying those, they were selling the February 26s that they'd profited on mightily already. Since these were the same number, 19,000 contracts, I suspect it's the same player taking advantage of his or her windfall in the 26s and moving on to those 29s. In other words, a roll up. Bang. There is a chart that shows the stock still hanging there at about $26.50 and making a very nice move from the November lows, which were right around 16, all the way now to $26.10 higher. If you'd like to learn more about Market Rebellion and what we do, how we can teach you how to be a better trader, if you'd like to learn more about options and you haven't traded a lot, or if you're an intermediate trader and you'd like to take it to the next level, go to marketrebellion.com/get started to learn more. That's marketrebellion.com/get started to learn more. How about Taiwan Semi, TSM? They were bullishly buying at 1:22 Eastern Time today. So let's say about 35, 40 minutes from when before we came on air, they were buying these calls. I guess that's an hour and 35, sorry. They were buying 14,000 of the January 116. That's not correct as far as the price of Taiwan Semi. Taiwan Semi is 108, but they were buying the 116 calls. So you know what I'm going to say. I'm going to say that we don't buy the 116s when the stock is 108. I buy the 108s or the 110s and sell a higher strike against it. 1-to-1, assuming no additional risk. So sorry about that error in copying this, that it is not a $20 stock. Taiwan Semi is $108 or $109 stock. But nonetheless, still valid. January 116s are what they bought. If you decide to buy those, that's fine. I choose to move the odds into my favor by buying a lower strike closer to the money and selling a higher strike against it and trying to get as close to that $1.75 in the amount of money that I risk as this trader did, but not asking for it to make that extraordinary move to or through 116. Bang. There is a graph that shows you Taiwan Semiconductor. As you see, it had closed yesterday at give or take 105 and change, had moved up to 108.83 as of the time that I grabbed that screenshot that you see there. If you'd like to subscribe, we'd appreciate it. It is free, and you will get every episode of Pete's The Take. You can go back in time and see them as well as my 60-second video that I do in the morning when I'm working out, or the 3 at 3 that I post up every day at approximately 3 p.m. Eastern Time. You can get all of that as well as some of the webinars that we do and podcasts that we do by subscribing to Market Rebellion. You just go to Google, hit subscribe, and you will be a subscriber to Market Rebellion YouTube channel. Thank you. Let's hit TJ Maxx. Why? Because Pete did this one as well on the halftime report. Stock was $68.50 when he came on there, and he talked about the unusual activity in TJX. He was talking about those Feb 6750 calls. So these are calls that are in the money, ITM, in the money. Let me check something here while we're talking. Checking both a fill and, let me see here. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. Getting a fill, TJX, and seeing exactly how many of these have traded today. When we talked about those Feb 6750 calls, they had traded, I guess I can't get it right now, sorry. They traded 3,500. They traded far more after that. But this was a call that was in the money just slightly, as you see from when Pete was there. They were in the money by about $1, and now with the stock here at 68.50 or 68.37, these calls, $1 in the money means that $2.50 is extrinsic, meaning the amount over and beyond in the money that they are, which was approximately $1. So everything over and above that would be their extrinsic premium. And there is a graph of TJ Maxx as it kind of trades sideways after a big move up on the 28th into the 29th, and then trading sideways since then. Crypto rebels, yeah. We have Crypto Rebellion. We have Crypto Rebel Training. We have Crypto Rebel Watch Lists. We have Crypto Rebel for your iPhone. And you can get it by going to the Apple App Store and downloading that Market Rebellion app. It is free. I encourage you, if you're somebody who wants to keep track of your crypto, have a watch list, join chat rooms and so forth, we've got all of that at Apple App Store, and type Market Rebellion. Thank you. Now we're getting to your questions. Questions addressed to @Jon Najarian or 3@3_UOA. Dominic Sapere, which is DOMINICSAPERE, he asked, save Spirit Airlines, Pete Najarian, Jon Najarian. What happened to those Jan 15s at the 3250 strike? Unusual back on December 16th. This one didn't work out. You are correct, Dom. It did not work out. Not every one that we do works out. And just so you guys know that we're keeping it real, we're talking about it even though you're asking about one that didn't work out. Too often people think that every trade we do works. It does not. But we cut our losses at 50%. So in this case, I believe the one that Dom's talking about, save, I think was the 9th of December, Dom. But if you say it was 16th, I'll run with your numbers. I showed it on the 9th. And I think these calls were in the neighborhood of, and they were out of the money, which I wouldn't have bought anyway. I would have bought closer to the money and sold out of the money because I think the stock's still around 25, 26-ish. But nonetheless, Dom, I'm not dodging your question. They didn't work out. You are correct. We do have time. I put on a 1-to-1 call spread, which doesn't mean that I can't lose money. It just means that I've addressed time decay and volatility compression. So, Dom, I wish that every trade that we posted did work, but when they don't, I cut my losses, move on to the next trade. That's the way that we stay at the tables longer, if you know what I mean. So thank you for your question. I don't take any offense if anybody wants to point out the losers, and I'll be happy to put them up here as well. Baba, okay, fake Kara Swisher, one of my favorite ladies. All right, Swisher, you told us about loading the boat on Baba on the dip. Yes, I did. And now Stephen Weiss jumping on the bandwagon. Yes, he is. And Scott Wapner was talking to Stephen about just that. I took $7 out of John's call yesterday. Bang, good for you, Kara. That's right. I talked about Baba when it was under 235. It exploded through that and went to, as we showed on the slides earlier, I think $8.45 those calls moved to today. So you could take a nice profit on that. I applaud you, Kara, for doing just that. Net Elements, yes, NETE. Twin Peaks asks, hey, Doc, you're on the board of Net, right? I'd say bang, but that's your phrase. So, wow, stock is to the moon today. Boom, to the moon. Thanks for all you and Pete Najarian do for the regular investor and for showing us the way. Yes, thank you, Twin Peaks, for citing that. Love your coffee. She's a coffee barista, I believe. Haven't been in her store, but I'd love to go up in Seattle area. But as you see there, Net Element, and indeed I do serve on the board there. I'm not giving you anything I shouldn't. This is fully disclosed. We have been trying to do a deal and finish a deal with Mullen, which is an EV manufacturer. That's electric vehicle manufacturer. I think they've got great tech. I can't say certain things, but what I can say has already been in press releases that we are pursuing a deal whereby we will exit some of the Net Element processing businesses and do a stock swap with Mullen and then have that as part of Net Element. And I think you'd agree that this is a hot space, the EV space. And as you see, the stock up 66% today. Bang! Love that. Been on the board here, by the way, not just for a week or two, but for a couple years. And this is the high point for the stock during that run. I love it. Thank you. If you'd like to learn more about Market Rebellion Unusual Option Activity, go to marketrebellion.com/UOA, where we do 20 to 30 trades a day. If that's too many, you could sign up for a service that costs less and it's only one trade a day. If that's too many, we have a service that's one trade a week. If that's too many, we've got Pete's cash flow portfolio, where he has been killing it this year at his cash flow portfolio. We have so many different subscription offerings over at Market Rebellion. Encourage you to check them all out. Just go to marketrebellion.com, kind of peruse what we've got, see what might be appropriate for you, whether it's education or subscription business or downloading that app from the App Store so that you can be a better crypto rebel. Thank you, folks. Got one more day to trade in 2020. I will be on the halftime report tomorrow, joining Scott Wapner, my buddy Joe Terranova, Carrie Firestone, and I forget who our fourth person is, but I'll tweet it out tomorrow. You can bet that. Thank you for joining me, folks. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow on my 60-second video. Make sure you subscribe to Market Rebellion over at YouTube. And what can I say? It's been a pleasure.